This is the first time I've had a contested race. I've been a judge for 20 years, and I've not had a viable opponent since I first ran in 1990. I've been not accepting volumes of money from attorneys over the years. They sometimes have contributed to help me make my filing fee, but I object to the notion that I'm on the take or that I give things back to people. I'm honest as the day is long, and I'll tell you I'm a Christian first. So that being said, let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm a lifelong West Texan. I'm a graduate of Texas Tech. I attended Tech on an academic and community service scholarship, and I graduated in 1977. Been married to a wonderful woman for 24 years. We homeschooled our children. They're age 13 and 15 now. And when we put them back in the public schools in the 5th and 7th grade, they have yet to make a B. They're both in the top 10 in their classes at Coronado and Irons Junior High, and I'm so proud of my family. I've been a judge, as I said, for 20 years. I have over 600 hours of continuing legal education. I've been a mentor and instructor to hundreds of judges around this state in counties both large and small. I have 4 clerks I'm a good boss. I have 4 clerks with a combined 50-plus years of experience. We know what we're doing in my office. I'd encourage each one of you to visit my interactive website. I started the website 10 years ago, and it was about 6 or 7 years past before anybody else in Lubbock County had anything more than a name or a face on their website. I'd encourage you to look at it. It's called The Best in Texas. Collin County, which has about double our population, called me and asked permission to use my website. They've copied it identically, and all 4 of the JP courts use it. I am a technology guy. I've saved the taxpayers of Lubbock thousands of dollars by making hundreds of tweaks to our computer system. I've eliminated duplication of services, eliminated the use of paper, reduced wasted time on the employee's behalf. My efforts in teaching technologies to other counties, 30 of the smaller counties, I help them to develop websites. And as I say, not a day goes by that I don't get questions from large counties and small asking for help. And as a result, the Texas Justice Court Judges Association saw fit to name me the 2007 Judge of the Year for the state of Texas. And a big part of that is my integrity. I was also appointed to the Texas Judicial Council in the last legislative session. I was one of 5 judges selected from this state. What the Texas Judicial Council is, in short, it's a think tank, a large group of people with only 5 JPs, and we come up with legislation that weaves its way through a process and eventually ends up on the desk of the Supreme Court Justice Jefferson of the Texas Supreme Court. If he signs off on it, we then find a sponsor, and it's got about an 80% chance of passage. One thing I'm really proud about, when I first started minor in possession of alcohol cases, back then it was find the parent. That's what you could do, because it was a minor. You couldn't do anything to the kiddo. At that time, I was a member of the Lubbock Regional Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse. It was an organization started by Jim Killian, a man of great integrity. And at our board meeting, they started talking about a thing called a SASE test. I can explain this real quick. A SASE test took 25 years and 200,000 alcoholics to develop. When you take the test, it has 100% accuracy. You know not only if you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, but if you have the propensity. I've implemented this in my court shortly after taking office, and it took off like a rocket. It makes a difference to young people when they see that they're making high marks in the propensity area. Quickly, it spread to the SPAG region. Today, it's required in all 254 counties of Texas, and it was a program I developed. I'm working on some other programs using GPS monitoring systems, ankle bracelets, not quite there yet on our truants. Let me tell you real quick about truancies. I had a 15-year-old in court. Why are you missing school? I was sick. Why? Morning sickness. I deal with this a lot, and I know the right words to say. And on the bench, you want the person with the right words to say. I talked to her about accepting responsibility for another person that she's brought into the world. And I explained you started the course of your life at a very young age. She smiled at me and said, "Oh, it's my 3rd." Judge Doolin, myself, and the other JPs started a program a couple of years ago where we have mediators in court. It's a little hard fact, but the Lubbock County Dispute Resolution Center, in my opinion, is the best in the United States. I am a trained mediator myself, but we have volumes of cases, 20 to 50 cases at a time, and we can only take so much time. I take these interpersonal cases where you have a young man and woman who had a child out of wedlock. They're not married, but they're living together with somebody's mama. or a single mother who has a daughter and a kid living with her, or just parents who have dysfunctional children. Usually when I see it, it's because the parent doesn't care enough. But we have these professional mediators take them outside of the courtroom setting and mediate. That 15-year-old girl got her GED, I'm happy to report to you. Maybe a small step, maybe a big step. But we are making headway and having more success on some issues like this. I also do driver's license hearings. That's where you take people's license away for having too many tickets. Had a gentleman in his 80s. I said, "Why are you here?" A proud man, never broke any laws, never had a ticket in his life. Served in 2 wars, been an honest man, and worked hard all his life. He looks at me with tears in his eyes and he says, "Don't take my driver's license away." There's a doctor's report that said he suffered from Alzheimer's and he could no longer drive. My mother suffers from it as well. But in any event, he's saying, "Judge, I know I can drive," and his wife is right behind him going like this. You want the right person on the bench who knows the right things to say, and I'm not afraid to be the bad guy. Also had a victim, well, I see I'm almost out of time, so let me get down to it. I just address, again, I'm not on the take. I hope you don't draw that assumption. Do your homework. Talk to the other judges, talk to people at the courthouse you know. Call the county auditor and ask her if Judge Hansen's court is not either one of the most or the most conservatively run court that returns money back to the general population. All the stuff I've done in technology that saved our courts tons of money, I've done without asking for any kind of compensation. I promise I'll only ask for a raise every 20 years, okay? I asked for a merit raise after 18 years, and if anybody wants to know more about that, I'd be happy to answer.